All right, so we're here to talk about some shit
Yeah, yeah.
and then create something.
And we have talked about talking about shit for a long time.
Yeah. That does make me think about growing up a little bit, in the sense that I feel like lately I've been uh realizing that a lot of the ways that I think and act are like a child.
Hmm.
And then, like, in order for me to take responsibility or to actually like make something happen, I have to give up myself for like a bigger version.
Hmm.
Like give myself up to something bigger than me as a little shithead or something. Like, is that doesn't really make any sense either. It's like people talk about self-sacrifice,
Hmm.
and then it's like, well, if I sacrifice myself, I'll lose myself. But it's not like sacrificing. I'm not sacrificing anything. What I'm gaining is a bigger sense of self, one that is more
Yeah.
capable. So it's not like myself goes away. It's myself transforms into something more powerful. So
You
it's
sacrifice um, something small that
yeah,
seems really important
important. That's right.
for something big that you can't really see or grasp while you're doing the sacrifice.
Kind of like that. Yeah,
You you
that's
you, you kind of intuit it. You kind of know it's a good thing. You know it's a good thing, but you don't really believe it until after you do it.
that's an accurate way of putting it for sure. It's
Yeah.
like from inside the cocoon of the from inside it, it's hard to see outside. But then you do bring up a point. I think it's funny um how we could sense that. Like, do you ever have stuff
Hmm.
where it's like, I know this is good, like I'm scared, I'm hurt, I don't want to go there, but I'm like, I know this would be good for me. There's like
Yeah.
I don't know, like a conscience or something like that, or every so I think Peter's mentioned something about that, like it's like your being knows,
Yeah.
like some loose turn being knows this is good somehow. And I don't know how that happens, but it seems to occur like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either, but I think like so sometimes I have to get out of my comfort zone and go have some conversations with people that I feel scared to have because I don't know how to have them, like literally because it's in another language and I think I'm going to screw it up. And I've had to have some of those conversations lately,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew, like, logically, that they were very important to have. Okay. But there's a part of me that just wants to shut down and close down and not face that larger reality because it's more comfortable. It's what I already know. And I could be like more specific about like exactly what those conversations were. I'm thinking of stuff that happened like yesterday and the day before that.
Yeah.
And uh, it does feel like afterwards I felt like a sense of like achievement and yeah, like growth, even though it's like this small thing. It's just having some conversations, but man, were they important to have. And I felt so much better after I had them, even though
Right.
I was kind of scared.
Right. At the front end, it's scary, but after out the backside, it's a different deal.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What do you think being an adult is?
that's
What is that?
that's a good question.
Other than just getting older, like
Yeah,
physically
because I've
older.
I've run into people who are physically old, but they're still children. So And I well, and I think it's also like okay, that's a good question. Humans are complex, so there are aspects that I have of myself. I'm like I'm still a fucking child over here, here, and here, but in these other areas, I'm very adult, and in these
Mm,
areas, not so much. So then we could like, well, what is that? I think part of being an adult is self-sacrifice. Um, Peter's mentioned something about maturity, where it's like doing something for somebody else, and they're never going to know about it
oh yeah.
and never say anything to you about it. That's a very adult
Yeah.
perspective, I think.
Yeah.
Not being willing to not to serve somebody else, not for me. And
Mm,
so that same thing, like um, serve the job, not my self interest, or uh, you get that idea, right? That I'm calling that self-sacrifice. It's like no, it's not about me. It's about getting the job done, and
yeah.
I might go through discomfort, but it's not about me being comfortable. It's about that. Whether it's a
Mm,
kid, which I think many people get that when they have children because they've got to serve a freaking child and they
mm,
have to give up a lot to do that. And then they
mm,
get the job to, so that makes them into adults. Like, so there's like a maturity. And then, so there's that aspect, like self-sacrifice or service of something else, not me as a, like a small, like, oh, me, and my comfort and my pleasure and my all that stuff.
mm,
Um, that's one big one, I think. And then the other thing that comes up is like, keep your word, maybe.
mm, yeah.
like, don't fucking tell people you're going to do something and not do it. That seems like childish to me.
Yeah.
Um, so have some integrity, have some honor. That seems like an adult thing. Now, what honor is, like I think honor is pretty adult. I have some idea of handling basic logistics is like an
Mm,
adult thing, like take care of your shit. You
right.
got things to do, like I don't know, stay organized. So maybe some modicum of effectiveness as a general principle is more adult. Because adult doesn't necessarily mean smart;
Nope.
it just means adult, whatever that is. Mature,
You know, I think taking on responsibility,
respond.
like one very simple way to think about it might be just I am an adult to the degree to which I take on responsibility, like including for all the things you mentioned, like if I'm taking care of my personal space, taking care of my paperwork, my taxes, my car, all the logistical things, taking care of my body, all of that, that's all taking on responsibility. That's like just of me, right? Like you could
Yeah,
say I'm being adult in that fashion. Then if I start taking responsibility for my job and my performance at work, if I start taking responsibility for how my family gets along, maybe I have like I'm a parent, if I take responsibility for my child's well-being, that's being an adult. If I take responsibility for something else, like the more responsibility I take on, the more adult I'm being. I think that runs the risk. Maybe that's a little bit too simple a definition. Maybe there's something to do with like insight and wisdom
yeah,
that can happen, but like just as a base level, I think that's a lot of it. And and I think it's possible for some people end up taking on too much responsibility early on in life in such a way that they're not really ready for it. And so something else kind of suffers, like a kid who's got dysfunctional parents and has to like sort of be a parent to his parents or her parents. And then maybe there's like a problem later on down the road. So that person has to kind of go back and kind of be a kid again or something. You know, it's a little weird. I don't want to say it's that simple, but I think there's something to it. Just taking on responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility. And then when you were talking about responsibility, I thought of like emotions and being responsible for emotions.
Mm,
And or like if I get honest, like really honest regarding emotions,
yeah.
a childish, in my view, a childish relationship to emotions is one where you caused me to feel this way. It's not my fault. It's your fault. So laying blame to an external circumstance for my internal world and
Right.
flipping that to, no, this is my internal world. Other people act the way I do. I take ownership of my internal state, my emotional state in this case. And that seems
Mm,
more adult, whatever that is, where it's like, no, that's
mm,
me. This is my pain or my anger or my emotions. That's on me. Now, maybe somebody else needs to be held accountable if they are intentionally doing something to cause the pain, but the I don't need to react from it. So like a reactionary
mm.
relationship seems more childish than one where I may have the emotion, but I don't put it on anybody else. It's my stuff to handle. That
So
seems like
maybe,
more adult, whatever that is.
yeah, maybe how you identify yourself in this world. Do you think of yourself as at cause, or do you think of yourself as being pushed and pulled around by events outside yourself? And if you think of yourself as on the shit end of the stick all the time, even if you're trying to take responsibility for something, you're not very effective and your experience is probably shit. And you're probably not a lot of fun to be around.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I'm a victim and it's not my fault. Oh, please. It's the world's fault.
yeah,
And so,
yeah,
yeah. There's
yeah.
a quote by somebody wise somewhere. And they said enlightenment is man's um, liberation from self-imposed childishness or something like that, or self-imposed. I don't know. I'm just making shit up here. Just making shit up.
I think that wise man was you,
No, no, no.
like,
I think it
like
was.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, this is pretty good. It's from Kant, Immanuel Kant.
Okay. All
So
right.
I heard via Ralston, of course. Um, Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-imposed nonage. Now, I don't know what the fuck nonage is, but nonage is the inability to use one's own understanding without another's guidance.
Oh, yeah. That sounds adult.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
not relying on somebody else to make decisions, whereas most people want to be here to what to do from other
Mm.
people.
Yeah, it's actually having a sense of inner orientation towards the world. It's like
Yeah, like
you look
I'm
without you,
solid. I can figure this shit out.
yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And even if you can't, you know what sources to consult, you know where to go. Like you
yeah,
can take action that's forward.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
self-generated rather than
Mm,
reliant, or what I would
mm,
imagine is like codependent, dependent on
mm,
others to
mm.
formulate a decision.
Yeah. I think goddamn, that's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's something that yeah, that's something, gosh, I think I have a relationship with that's not completely conscious. Like I don't know how well I'm doing in that department, but I know that's like the direction that I'm moving more and more towards.
yeah, yeah, and then
Yeah.
you might see the power in it or some such, or like start to see the consequences.
Yeah. And I think that has something to do with being alone.
Hmm.
Sort of like the ability to just like imagine like you're on a ship and you're way out there and you're like it's you and your boat and
And
the ocean,
yeah.
right? And it's, yeah, we're not literally on boats, most of us, but there's something like that to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that would show up where you're at pretty quick with
Mm-hmm.
things. Can you
Mm-hmm.
handle that? Oh yeah, now you got to handle that. Now what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
had a.
know,
Go ahead.
good.
Okay, I'll go. I try
Go.
to catch the delay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe it's not as much of a delay as sometimes it is on WhatsApp. I, for myself, I remember fairly recently, it's like I went through a time of reckoning, you could say. It was something like I took, I feel like, now here's the story. I was
Mm.
having a dream, and this is what I think happened. I think I made this up like after the fact, but I'm like, this is what I pieced together. So I don't know if this is actually true, but I have something like I remember having a dream, and the dream was I was going through some stuff. Oh, I'm backing up. I'm like getting older, gonna die, and I was like meditating on that or contemplating that for a while, and I think something crept in, and then I had this dream where I full on I was like, all right, fine, I want to see everything, like what's really going on. And in the dream, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just like I think I felt my chest open, and I just like ah. And then I woke up, and all hell broke loose. It's full on ah, like
You mean emotionally? Like you had a lot of
like
reactivity?
massive emotional pain all of a
Oh,
sudden, big time. And I
whoa.
feel like what happened there was I got in touch with what I had been doing till now,
Mm,
wholesale.
mm.
And it didn't feel
All at
good at
once.
all. Yeah. And I thought I was going to die. Literally thought I was going to die. Panicked the whole thing, like fucking freak out. Like it was bad.
What? It's wild how in the dream though you looked at yourself in the mirror and it
Peaceful.
sounds so much more just matter of fact and
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah. And
peaceful.
again, this is a story that like I don't know if it really went down this way, but I think so.
Yeah.
and,
Mm,
and in either case, I'm making up a fun story about it that's aligned with it. But my point is, the point of the story is that I feel like that was a huge turning point where now my internal experience, if I see something there that I don't like, I had to reckon with that there is absolutely nothing external to me that is going to solve my problems. It can't happen that way. It doesn't happen that way. It never will happen that way because that's not how the machine is designed.
mm,
And I
mm,
had to confront, like, I'm on my own on this one. And then I had to
mm,
go, well, if I'm having a shitty experience, that's on me. How am I going to fix it? Not how am I
mm,
going, which the easy way is to shove it down, pretend like it's not there, or distract myself and chase things that I think will fix it, but nothing actually resolves it.
mm,
And and then seeing stuff in my experience that I'm no longer okay with, like why is all this pain here? Like if I'm angry at somebody else, I'm in pain. Why am
yeah.
I in pain? Usually it's blame, or it's out there. This is why I'm in pain, but that's not true. That's not how it goes. I'm in pain. Why? Because I'm built some way. So my point is like looking into that and taking responsibility. And that's a
Yeah.
different world than the other one where the pain is caused by external circumstances.
I wonder if you and I have like a different relationship with pain and suffering and cause and effect.
Hmm.
Um, I, like, I've never tried to explain this. I don't think um, before, so
Hmm.
this might be a real
I'll stretch a little.
clusterfuck to try to express it. But um, it seems to me like um, on the one hand, I can look into my own experience and reflect. And like the more honest I get, the more I can reflect and the more I can kind of see things for what they are, or at least see what they're not, see the
Yeah.
limits of my own understanding and my own comprehension. And this might sound really weird, but you know how you can sometimes, if you're looking through your physical eyes and you might see like a floater in your eye or something, and you know it's not out there, it's in your eye,
Yeah.
right? And then there are many times when I can look at my entire experience and everything is like
Is
floaters
a
in my
float.
eye. It's like there's nothing in my experience that isn't actually me being interpreted, for my own purposes.
Say,
God, yeah, I told you this is going to be hard.
yeah, no,
I'm
I
trying.
think I'm tracking, but it's like, so you look at your entire experience and
Yeah,
it's all floaters essentially. Like it's all something you're interpreting for you. Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
exactly. Everything's for me until the moment that I try to actually contemplate what is out there. You know, as
Right.
if what is this stuff really? Not anything that I perceive or feel. Which is
Yeah.
I don't think most people do that. I
No.
don't think most people ever even think like that. And
No.
and and I only started thinking that way because you and Peter got me down this road that, well, forever will dominate my destiny. But it's a
Yeah.
great road to be down because it's like
Yeah.
deepening and deepening and deepening.
Yeah.
But I suppose what I'm trying to say is that it seems like an ever opening thing, like there's always more awareness and consciousness to be had. And I can become more and more conscious of how I am at cause of something. But there's also like a flip side where it's like, wow, I don't know what any of this is. And I totally didn't make any of it happen. like, like there's a way where I look at this and I go, whoa, um, okay, like I don't have control. Like I do not have control. Like, yes, I can take responsibility for my experience, and sometimes I can change it, alter it, or influence it to a great degree. Often I can, often just by looking at it closely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I am totally unconscious of how the universe has come to be, why anything is what it is. Like what the fuck is this? Right? Or like anything. Like and I'm not at cause for that. So I guess it's sort of like um I guess like a little, maybe a little bit of like humility too, in the sense of like I'm not like I'm not trying to sound Christian or theological or anything, but it's like I am God, but I'm not God, right? I am being, but I am not actually the one that created, as if created everything. And so I am at effect. As long as I'm a limited being, I am always going to be, you know, like I'm even if I'm taking responsibility and I'm on the ocean and I'm alone, I am on the ocean alone and those waves are coming and they are moving the boat. And
That's
I
right.
can move the sails and I can like, regard it really well or really
Yeah.
badly and I can freak out or I can take good action and I can govern a lot, but I'm not choosing how the water comes and goes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. The body ages, it dies. Objects
Yes.
come and go. There's rules about how all this objective shit works.
Physics, I don't seem
Right?
to have even an iota of control over physics,
No, gravity is kind of out of your purview.
and controlling other people. You know, other people are going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
When you've got so many people coming in, talking to you, talking to Peter, I imagine a lot of the people coming in are, without knowing it, are looking to grow up.
I think
They're
so.
looking to take on, they're looking to grow up in some way.
Yeah.
And then maybe some other people, maybe some older people, I don't know, you tell me,
Mm.
are looking to do something else in a way. Like, yeah, it's growing up, but they're looking to let go somehow. They're looking
Yeah.
to open up.
Something. Something. Yeah. I don't know what draws them. I didn't really ask too much, but I think maybe they get. I have a suspicion that they get older and they want to know. They probably, I imagine, okay, I'm making some stuff up, I have no idea, but I imagine they get older, they know they're going to die, and life hasn't really given them the answers they wanted, and they
Yeah,
said somehow, oh, I'll come here and you guys got the
got the
something,
goods.
got the goods.
And then you point the finger right back at them.
Yeah, and tell them, don't come here for value because we don't do that shit. We don't give you anything that's worth anything.
Changshin, the best no value product or service you'll ever buy.
Goddamn right. Fucking high dollar. It's a high ticket item, and come on down, and we'll give you nothing.
Yep. The best nothing you'll ever get.
Nothing you'll ever get. Yeah. It's the truth. Yeah, yeah, when people come down for workshops, I totally like, no, no, don't look for value. You're going to be looking in the wrong place. It's counterintuitive. So I
Yeah.
scream at them to stop looking for value because it's like whatever they make up about what's valuable and useful to them, and they'll miss it.
That's like the most, I mean, it's almost like if you could get, I mean, if you can get someone to not look for value for like 1.6 seconds, they're going to have an insight.
I wish it was that fast. Then we could guarantee
Well,
some serious results.
I mean, like if you could really just stop looking for
Okay,
value.
1.6. Whoa, got it. Okay, cool. Thanks. Bye.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, no, stick around for another 3 seconds. It'll fucking knock your socks off.
Yeah. But I mean, like honestly, like any insight that I've had at all seems to have come about the moment that I stopped looking for what was in it for me,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't seem to be able to do for very long. That's why I said 1.6 seconds. you know, it goes back pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we do stuff. So yeah, there is something there where if you look at I mean, I think you can follow this. Most people probably can, but it might be a stretch. Is like you look at reality and everything is painted good and bad as if everything's
Yeah.
good and bad, all overlay right now. You like, don't like the whole thing. If you rip that off of reality, you're left mostly with an unknown. What is that? I don't know. So it gets open real quick.
Yeah.
Like stop knowing that those are mats over there. Those aren't mats. That's that. And then it's like, huh? Well, what is it then? I don't know. And
Mm.
now that's that because that's what is there. It is unknown, ultimately, if we take away all the crap, and then that's the doorway into having an insight. Is like through the unknown place, right in the middle of all the knowing, as if it's like right there. It makes me think of my challenging time when I was I was really scared. I was experiencing lots of fear, and I remember looking around at the objects, and the objects weren't afraid. There's no fear in the objective world,
Mm.
and I really caught that because my mind was afraid, and the objects were at peace. And so I like put my mind on the objects, like, okay, just be like that, where it's quiet, really quiet. They don't talk. And that's like my mind was like going bananas and the objects were just solid. So I'm like, okay, I can take solace in the objective reality.
Yeah.
Super peaceful.
Wow.
Yeah, that was like, so why am I saying that? So it's like, and then they're just there, unknown,
Mm.
like big silent sentinels or something like that. Just
Mm.
nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Something.
What have we talked about so far? We've talked about being an adult.
Being an adult. Talked a little bit about, yeah. Oh, we were still talking about being an adult, taking responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
taking responsibility for your experience.
Self-sacrifice,
Yeah.
going beyond the little self,
Yeah.
and having a sense of what to do, even if you don't know.
Yeah. Like somehow there's like a way of knowing. I don't know. Like when I'm really honest or something, there's a wholesomeness there.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. It just seems to work that way. Like if I'm really straightforward, I have a sense of myself as being a straightforward person, and like somehow that's good.
Mm.
It's not, if I'm misleading or living a world of, I don't know, espionage or whatever, then like that
Right.
becomes my world, and there's like a consequence. If something is hurtful, it's or hateful, it's a hateful consequence. If it's loving, loving happens, and there's like one of them, some is somehow good and another one's not.
Yeah.
Like we know that somehow. Psychopaths, I don't think know that. And they've got a
Yeah.
different brain thing going on, and it's not the norm. Like the general public is like, yeah, this is good, that's bad, and we know stuff like that.
Yeah. Kind of imagine you were thinking about yeah, doing things that you feel some resistance to doing though. Like you feel like there could be a negative consequence to telling the truth, or a negative consequence to taking an action, even if it's
Right.
just your own discomfort or what other people might think of
And
you.
it's like the negative consequence, I think, is like to whom and built which way. And what I mean by that is like it's a negative consequence to me, but me as what?
Yeah.
Some little piece of
Yeah.
shit that has a problem with that. And if I'm if
That's
I'm honest, it destroys that asshole kind of thing.
yeah. Me as what? Me as what? That is the thing right there.
Yeah, there's your there's your fucking problem right there.
Yeah.
I
Me
keep
as what?
thinking
What are
I
you
am,
busy being?
yes. I think I'm some way and I get
Yeah.
attached to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I think. You want to go biblical. This is what I think original sin is. Sin as in to miss the mark.
Yeah.
What I call the cosmic whoopsie. From the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, I'm like, oops, I'm a person. Oops. Lost touch right away with the truth. You know what I mean? Coming from enlightenment, coming from a direct consciousness standpoint, like you,
Oh
real you,
yeah.
coming from real you.
Yeah.
This is the mistake. This is the original sin. I'm a person now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What? Yeah. I don't know.
The
Something like that. I think it's I'm
you're no longer in touch with capital T truth. You're in touch with relative you, and
mm,
that's important.
it is important.
but then okay, so here's some more stuff. This is we're going off the map here. This is just me pontificating.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, just for fun, that's like I entertain that as the original oops. Like I
Yeah.
was in touch with God, now I'm not. I've
Mm,
forgotten what I really am. Now I'm this. And then
mm,
the other part is when Jesus talks about serving in heaven, well, when I serve something bigger than myself, my experience changes to something way better than when I just
Yes.
serve myself, like myself as what? Myself as a small,
Yeah.
like my needs and my fears, and like, okay, I had some past trauma when I was younger, and like I'm trying to resolve myself because I think there's something broken in me and I'm wrong and bad, and then so I enter into this lifelong pursuit trying to like get the job
Fix
done to
myself.
fix myself. What am I serving? I'm serving myself as that. But if I
Yeah.
serve bigger, the bigger is like wipes me out, like honesty or something like that. Just no, you like that can't happen with honesty. Honesty says, fuck you. And that's
Mm.
why it's scary, because I'm still that small one kind of thing.
Mm.
So serve in heaven, I don't know. But then what's heaven? And what is serving really would be a question.
I think, yeah. Maybe I need to go look at the Bible again. I can't remember, but I think Jesus said that the kingdom of heaven is all around you.
Yeah, it's not hidden
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah, but he didn't say it literally, but it was something to the effect of "you all have your head up your ass."
Yeah, and that head up the assness, I would probably call that like original sin or something like that.
Yeah, no, this is
It's like,
definitely John's very loose interpretation. It
okay.
was That's not the King James version.
Okay, I don't know much about it at all.
Yeah.
Tell you. But yeah, not to get all biblical. You mean, me, but I do have those
Yeah.
thoughts from time to time, and I think like, yeah, I think there's something there, like serve in heaven. What is that? It's like, well, it's like serving not this.
Mm.
And I think people that do serve something bigger, they know that it's powerful.
Yeah.
And so coming from a place of like, well, is it powerful? Like, not is it the right thing to do, but what happens to my experience when I do it? Is that worth it? Then yeah, good. It's an obvious choice. It's not like
Hmm.
I need to live that way or you need to live that way.
Yeah, it's not imposed by someone.
No, it's kind of like here's how reality functions literally.
Yeah.
If you do this, these results pop out.
Yeah.
Like those results, hey, keep going. You don't?
Yeah.
Is it unhealthy, disempowering, doesn't work? Stop
Yeah.
doing that or whatever.
But we can also like there's you can also drop like the reality is that people do like the results. And they don't just like the results. They feel truly empowered and like enlivened and like life is worth living.
Yeah.
Because I think it's very easy to fundamentally look at life and go, you know what? Fuck this. Fuck the source of everything and fuck this too. And fuck me and fuck other people. Like lots of I think I've done that. It's extremely painful. It's a terrible thing to do.
Oh,
But
to
yet, yeah, to just be like to in
say, oh,
some way
fuck
just
you.
be like, you know what? Like this is not worth it. Like I think human beings we have this ability to look at our situation and we can recognize that we're getting old and dying. We can recognize that it's going to come to an end. We can recognize that things aren't going our way, and no matter what we believe, whatever we whatever lofty ideal, spiritual idea, religious idea that we may take on, those things can get dropped. But what rarely gets dropped is that bad things happen, so to speak. You know, like you're going to get sick. Something really painful is going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, something is going to really really hit you hard. And nobody gets out of that. And the recognition of that plus the recognition that people do make it worse.
What do you mean?
Like people make it worse. Like they do
Like if
things.
something bad happens, it gets worse. I make it worse.
Yeah, they make it worse for themselves and they make it worse for other people.
Oh yeah.
Like there's such a thing as not only like, oh, I'm trapped in my little self and my self concerns and I'm not pursuing the truth and I'm not serving, you know. But there's also going the other direction, which is like, you know what makes me happy? Happy making other people's day worse.
Yeah, and that
Right?
yeah, and they think it's happy.
They think it's happy,
Yeah.
but it makes them meaner, and it does satisfy something. It gives them a momentary sense of power.
Power, yeah, they're seeking probably pleasure and power and some sort of it's going to fix me or it's going to resolve something in me. It's an attempt at
Yeah,
resolution.
and I think some people, like, to take it to an extreme, you think of like school shooters or something like that.
Yeah.
Some people, they're really looking at it as like, you know, they're waging a war on reality itself.
They're
They're like,
twisted up.
I'm gonna fuck it up for everyone, and I'm gonna try to make it hurt as much as possible
Yeah.
because I'm in serious pain.
Serious pain.
And I think that's a really extreme example, but that's actually like a choice that is it is innate in our being as human beings.
What do you
Like,
mean?
we have this choice to choose.
You mean like an
um
ability to choose that?
yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
have an
can choose
ability
to
to
do
like
anything.
open up to service and to expansion. We have the ability to like close down and get meaner.
Yeah, like very contracted
Yeah,
and totally
yeah.
self-inverted or
And just because
self-focused.
it's like I mentioned, like a school shooter, it can be a small thing. It doesn't have to be the crazy exaggerated thing. It could just be like a little thing that people do, small lies, or you're just like more cruel to someone that you might, you don't have to be, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And it's actually because deep down you've got a serious problem with God, with the fabric of reality, with your own
Yeah.
existence.
Sure. Yeah.
And you're saying, you know what? The best thing to do is just tear stuff down,
Yeah.
which is not hopefully that's not the angle that I would think that the vast majority of people who come in and do work with you are not aiming in that direction, because that doesn't gravitate in that direction. Like,
No, likely not.
Shankshin gravitates like out and up, so to speak. You know.
Yeah, could. I mean, I definitely came in. I didn't. I wanted to right the wrongs in the world, and more, I'm realizing that I can't actually do that.
Mm,
And that would somehow fix me.
mm.
That's a recipe for pain.
Can I ask you what rights you wanted to wrong?
Oh, all of them.
All of them.
Yeah, let's see. We could start with assholes who drive in the left lane in traffic. They could all just learn some better driving skills. Move over. Come on.
Yeah,
This isn't hard,
yeah,
right? That's wrong.
yeah.
Politicians keep lying. All of those motherfuckers need a slap in the mouth. I don't care who they are. You lie, you suck.
Yeah.
Everybody. Uh, yeah. Yeah. We could go. Yeah.
Everything that bothered you.
Everything that bothers me. You're in a grocery store. Please realize there's other people in the store. Get out of the way, would you?
Right.
Like people want to walk through, or like at an airport or something. You like people standing around in the middle of the freaking in the middle of the place where other people are. Come on, move out of the way.
That's
Everybody,
what.
yeah. ISIS, all ISIS extremist religion, period. All of them. Bye. No more. You're done. No more religion for you. It's over. You can't do that.
No more. Religion is boycotted for the extremists.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can have their own faith unless you're an extremist, and then
You're
we impose
extreme.
atheism.
That's right. It's no more thinking like that. You're
No,
an
even
atheist.
atheists do some fucked up shit
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. All of those people just gather them together, put them somewhere, and then just like go. That's just wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, it's all yeah, like whatever. That's just my
What
bullshit.
one thing that gets me here? You said the in lines thing. Like, here in it's people don't know how to line up for anything, so they just clusterfuck around and just like mob each other.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get off an elevator, you can't get off of a train because people are trying to get onto the train before the people get off the train, etc.
Yeah, yeah. It's like let's go with some efficiency here. You're getting on the highway. It's called a zipper. You 1 2 1 2 1 2. A yield sign, it does not mean stop. It means continue to blend people. Like
Right.
they're all wrong. All of them wrong, wrong,
All of
wrong,
them are
wrong,
wrong.
wrong,
That's
Yeah, yeah,
another reason to go off to the mountains
yeah.
and
I'm
be in
done with you
nature.
people. You're stupid. And I'm so right.
And I'm right. That's the most important thing is, oh God, it feels so good to be right. Oh yeah.
Right one
That
day.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
It's a drug. Being right is a drug.
Yeah, and then why do I need to seek the rightness? Why am I so driven? You see, and
Because I'm wrong.
yeah. And when I really confront stuff like that, I start to become more peaceful in my own experience. I
Yeah.
was actually thinking about doing a video on this sort of topic actually, and I probably will, like right after we get off this, I'll probably shoot it. Is like if I was making, I didn't realize I was making life responsible. Like life isn't right. Imagine like if it's not just like another person, but no, life as a whole is wrong. I'm very motivated to make everything right, and then I'm also making life responsible for how I feel. This is asking for trouble.
That's what I was talking about. That's the school shooter thing.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is the school shooter
it's
mentality.
yeah, that is it in me,
Yeah.
directed not that way though. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do personal growth. I'm gonna do and I'm gonna
Mm.
create this organization. I'm gonna do and change people for the better
Mm.
because I truly
Ah.
understand it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that stuff like hides out, and then I don't realize why am I so angry about certain things? And then I take a look and I really look, and I'm like, oh yeah, because I've got a problem with life.
Wow.
And then I start to accept life as is, and this is better. Yeah. Because I can create a very strong feeling of everybody's wrong.
Yeah.
And then guess what? I'm left with an experience where everybody's wrong. And it
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
So that's fucking dumb.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. It's that same sort of dynamic, just turned maybe in a more healthy way, but it's similar. And then now I'm like, now I'm back to responsibility. Like, what experience do I want to have? Is this
mm,
comfortable? Is this healthy? Is this empowered? No. Well, what am I doing? Oh, I'm making myself in pain about an idea I have about what life is. I think it is
mm.
a certain thing. Where? In my mind. Because that's where life is, life. But I'm starting to see very much that what I think it is a concept.
Yeah.
There
There's
is no
that's
life anywhere. It's like objects aren't life, they're just objects. Life is in my mind.
yeah.
It's an idea I have.
Yeah. Yeah. There's this constant. Your subjective experience.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
call your
About
life.
life. Yeah.
Your
And
subject.
it's going somewhere and it came from somewhere. And both of those are false.
Yeah.
That's just more thinking again.
Yeah. But it orients you.
Yeah. Gives
It
orientation.
orients you. You gotta also accept it too as we need a self to walk around and talk to people. You, you need to
I
have
would
a
say
way to
no. Like, yes. Okay. Yes.
you got a
We need a
name.
certain. Yeah. But if we're going to do it in the language, okay. Yeah. We need a body. We need some space. We need another and me so that we can communicate. And if we don't have that, then we're not talking. You know,
Yeah.
we need the means to do so. So we got all that, which means then I've got a social self. Good. We're just constructing reality. That's great. And so yes, but what kind of social self could we have? We don't need one that is so small. We
Yeah.
could have like a team self or something.
Well, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. A lot of people have um, a self that's based more on their larger community.
Yeah.
You know,
That
I
makes
think
sense.
I think broadly speaking, in the United States and in we're pretty selfish. We're
Like
pretty
individualistic
focused, very
on the
individualistic.
individual. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not thinking. Whereas, like from other parts of the world, people might think about their entire religious community or their nation or at least their family as more important, which has its own problems. Like that's not necessarily better. I'm just saying, but it is bigger, and they've got a different way of holding the whole thing together.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think we have an option about. I think we have options to some extent about what kind of self we want to construct, but I don't think we have an option about whether or not a self is constructed.
No, I mean, if I wouldn't say a conscious option, no, because we're
Yeah,
pretty much born into it.
yeah,
I mean, we
and
don't
and you're
have like I don't. I'm speculating, but as a baby, it's like very minimal. Still like self and other, like but very
yeah.
basic. Just I'm here, you're there, but then that's about it. And then
Thinking about my kid.
at some point, language, but language pretty fast.
Language pretty fast. I don't really know how it works, but like I remember once I was giving my son a bath when he was like a couple months old, and I did like I was kind of I don't know I was like messing with him or kind of playing with him, and I did this with my eyebrows like
Yeah.
that, like a little like mischievous something, and this like 2 month year old kid goes right back at me.
Yeah.
So I think we are deeply wired the way dolphins fucking do their
Oh, I think
sounds
I
and
see what you're trying to
birds
say. Yeah.
migrate and shit.
We do
Human
selves
beings
like that.
are fundamentally set up for language and making meaning.
Oh yeah.
This is what we do.
Oh yeah.
And and I think we it's possible to make a like an anti-self. Make like I will be the guy who doesn't make any meaning. I will be the guy who has no self. And
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's
just
just more of the
more
same.
it's more of the same, and it's like, all right, no. Just get conscious of like the meaning that you're making and the self that you're creating, and maybe you might start moving it or changing it or not.
Yeah.
Like start there,
Yeah.
right? Without any like, oh, it's bad, right? Because you'll probably find out that some of it is bad and you don't like it, but wait until you see.
Yeah. 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 Don't just presuppose. That yeah, that's definitely one thing I tell people when they're in there working and they want to transform. I'm like, you want to transform as a human being? Love yourself the way you are. Go. Full on. They're like, no, but if I do that, I won't change anything. I'm like, shut the fuck up and do it, okay?
Trust me on this one.
Just trust me. I am a professional at the other way. You want to save some time? Accept yourself exactly the way you are because right now you don't. And the only way you're going to have a snowball's chance in hell of changing it is if you actually get what's going on. And you can't get what's going on if you think it's bad because
Yeah.
you'll push it away, hide it, and you'll not want to look at it. So I'm like, good. Embrace it, your whole self, love yourself. And something happens.
Yeah.
Like for example, sometimes like I've been in an emotional place and I went deep dive into myself. I'm like, what is going on? And I would something, I'm in some serious pain. Maybe I'm in some serious pain. Just possibly. And I couldn't make any progress until I was like, wait a minute, love what's there. And I switched to loving what's there rather than like fighting and trying to get it gone. And and then I realized stuff more, like quickly.
Hmm.
And it really just kicks me in the ass because I'm like, because I had, say, all these negative feelings directed at somebody else. And I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. How do I stop the pain? I was like, love them. Love them exactly the way they are. And it's like, oh, then it hit home and turned from, hurt to sadness, maybe, some a healthy expression of the pain rather than
Yeah,
anger.
I think that's where it goes. It's like
Ugh.
the sadness. Yeah,
Yeah, I think sadness is like a legit healthy expression of pain.
it's the other side of joy. It's like joy and sadness are like the
Something
the
good about it.
pure liquid of our experience, and then the anger and the
Hurt,
frustration and the
fear.
fear are they're when we're trying to do shit about our joy and our sadness.
What do you mean?
They're like the anger is when I'm trying to do something about my sadness.
Yeah. Well, I think it's doing something about pain.
Yeah,
Sadness
yeah.
might also be doing something about pain, but it's
Mm,
healthy. That's how I hold it now.
mm,
When
mm.
I'm really hurt and I just cry, it's like, okay, my soul is healing. Like, okay. But then it can go off. Then see, and then we're complex because sometimes you have like somebody who then identifies as the sad person, and they use it for
Mm.
something. That's no
Sure,
longer
yeah.
just expressing it pure. It's like,
We are tricky monkeys.
yeah,